Okay, welcome to week 4. Let's go see how we did. So, in the previous week, we had the very first real quiz, and it was okay. Average score was an 81. I prefer it to be a little bit higher, but that's still not bad. 15 A's, that's fantastic. 8 B's, that's great. Most people are doing really well on the journal. Don't have any problems there. Now, do you remember back in week 0, I said that I use my lecture notes to build the quizzes, and therefore it'd be a good idea to have my lecture notes plus any notes that you took and have those handy while you're taking the quiz. You remember me saying that? No? Darn. Okay. So that'd be a really handy thing to have. So there's an awful lot of questions I ask that are why type questions. So don't give me a what answer to a why question. Once again, this is week 0 stuff. And there's one person who hasn't taken the quiz yet, so I'm going to wait until everyone completes it before I release the answers in the comments. Okay, so let's just go through it. The first one was about, what version of the JRE, not the JDK, JRE do I recommend? And the answer is none. And this was very clearly stated. All you had to do was watch the videos and pay attention, take notes, or look at the lecture notes. And then for the one on characters, I had double quotes in there. Is that the way that thing works? And 14 for constants. I didn't ask, what is the definition of a constant? What I asked was, essentially, why on earth would you ever want to do that? Why would I want to pick a variable in my application and say, I think I'm going to make that a constant? And the answer ought not be, well, because the value is not going to change. That's a what answer. I'm saying, why would you decide to do that? In other words, what's in it for me? Why would I ever want to make anything constant at any time? Okay, all that stuff was discussed. Yes, it was in the lecture. And then on the scanner, I repeated this a gazillion times about the first part is acting as a type, and the second one is acting as, later on, we're going to talk about this word called a constructor, but it acts as the technique for building the thing. Okay, now just to drive home the point, let's just go look at the lecture notes. So, here are the lecture notes. And so, I say, we won't be using the older JRE, and in fact, I'm recommending you uninstall it. So that's question number 1. Let's just scroll through here, okay? So, in the lecture, I talked about the fact that if you had an Android phone, all of the applications that are in the Google Store are written in Java. You don't remember that? That's what I have taken notes about far. The history of Java. How in the world did they, accomplish the goal? All right here. All you have to go is look. What project type do I use? Rules. What are the rules? Java is case sensitive. Yes. Source files in with all that good stuff. What's the difference between print and printf? You see how this thing works? If you had this in your hand, are you telling me if you had this in your hand, you would miss question 5? Really? I mean, it's not that difficult. These are text files. You can bring them up in Notepad. You can do Control F. You can type in sensitive. Boom, brings you right to the one. Hey, is Java case sensitive or not? Boom. I mean, take you less than a second to find that location in the file. Okay? So, yeah, you kind of sort of should use the things that I tell you about. And along that line, let's just go over the advice I've been giving. I've been giving you lots of advice. Now, clearly it's up to you to take the advice, but I've been giving you lots of advice along the way. So let's just kind of roll through them. All right, here we go. The first one, I admit, is tough. I want you to watch the videos, pay attention, and take notes. Now, I'll admit that's tough. I mean, you're in the backseat of a car, or you're at lunch break at work, and you're watching this on your phone. That's going to be tough, okay? That's going to be tough. But the others aren't all that tough. Like, have the journal questions handy while you're watching the video. That's not tough. Use the lecture notes during the quiz. That's not tough. Read the assignment comments on the day of grading so you might be able to get an Easter egg thing. Yeah, that'd be great. Fix and resubmit assignments and journals to get a better grade. How difficult is that? Don't wait until the last minute to start working on something. Yeah. Read every single word of the assignment and the quiz questions. And don't answer a why question with a what answer, because that won't impress me. And then turn things in on time to avoid late fees. Now, none of this is new, is it, right? I mean, you've kind of heard me say all this. All you have to do is just remember to do it. That's all you have to do. Okay, so let's go look at the schedule to see what it is we're supposed to be doing this week. Whoops, that's not the schedule. Modules, schedule. So here we are in week 4, and we're doing chapter 4 and assignment 2. Let's go look at assignment 2. All right. So assignment 2 is a very simple calculator kind of a thing. Let me just show you what it doesn't have to look exactly like this, but it has to be function kind of sort of like this, where it prompts you for a number and you enter a number. It prompts you for a second number and you enter a number. And then you ask for a math operator. And if you've put in a valid math operator, it gives you the answer. If it doesn't produce a decent a math operator that doesn't exist, I want you to pop up something like this that says, this is not a valid math operator, or something like that. Okay, now, there are lots of ways to accomplish this, but I'm specifically asking you to do the things that were in the chapter, because the purpose of this is not to write an application. The purpose is this for you to show me that you learned the material, okay? So, remember, put the standard comments at the top. Use a technique in lecture for getting numeric input. Use a switch statement. Okay, so I'm very, very specifically telling you how I want you to write this application. And then do the math inside the case statements. And then use all the best practices associated with the switch statement. And then a single printf. Ooh, not a println, not a print, but a printf at the end that shows off the answers. Okay, that's all there is to that thing. It shouldn't take you more than a few minutes to punch this guy out. Okay, now we can go look at what it is we're doing for this week. So again, this is pretty straightforward. A little over an hour's worth of video. And this is all about loops and things of that nature. Loops and files. So, do watch the videos. Do pay attention, take notes. Yes, okay. Do have the journal stuff handy while you're watching the videos. All right, do all those things I tell you to do, and you'll probably come out a lot better. You know, the purpose for me giving you advice isn't just so you can get a better grade. It's so you can learn something along the way. I mean, that's the whole point here, right? Okay, so that's the end of this, and please do go watch the video lectures.